Hi there. So today got something a little bit different for you. I've done a little bit of a collaboration with my good friend, the Sith, who, if you haven't subscribed to him, I very much recommend doing so. Well, I hope you enjoy the video.
Hello there, I am your host, the Sith, and in today's video, I am ranking my favourite top 3 Marvel characters. But I'm not alone. I have enlisted the help of a very good friend in the YouTube community, whose Marvel knowledge is very, very good, particularly in the comic area. I'm interested in the comics myself, and I do have a few. But his wealth will surely surprise you. Wealth of knowledge, that is. So, without any further ado, please like, subscribe, and here's Galactus the Hungry.
Hi there. My channel name is Galactus the Hungry, and I'm lucky enough to be doing a video with the Sith. Big fan of his videos. Love all the stuff he puts on his channel. All that Star Wars. Battlefront. So I'm going to be reviewing my 3 favourite Marvel characters. I think these are probably based on both comics and movies, just on how I like the character. So my number 3 would definitely be Adam Warlock. Now, Adam Warlock, we don't really see him almost at all in the MCU. He's referenced at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. By the Queen of the Sovereign, Princess Aisha, I think their name was, and so that's all we see of him in the MCU. But in the comics, Adam Warlock's awesome. So he was created by a group called the Enclave, I think it was, just like some scientists trying to make a higher form of life, and they succeeded, but he was way too powerful for them. Kind of classic story. So he goes off into the universe searching for answers, and among that, he actually allies with Thanos. He goes on a team with Thanos, which I think they are the coolest team ever. Adam Warlock and Thanos. Adam Warlock looks like a big golden person, a little bit like the Sovereign that we see in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So the things that I like about Adam Warlock, how he is one of the only people in Marvel to be able to kill Thanos. Now, I mean, it's not a thing many Marvel characters can say really. And also, as well as killing Thanos, he has a unique link with the Soul Stone. In the Marvel comics, he's kind of like the ruler of the Soul World, which is the world inside the Soul Stone. We see Thanos go into it once he's done the snap, where he finds like the young Gamora. And also, Adam Warlock can never die. He's immortal, which is pretty cool. So, coming on to number 2, my second favourite would be Scarlet Witch. Now, I love Scarlet Witch in both the movies and the comics. I think Elizabeth Olsen does a great job of acting with them. I think they are awesome. I love their creation story in the comics about how they used the Mind Stone on her and her brother, Pietro Maximoff. That's their real names in the comics, actually. Quite interesting. And they got their powers in there because they hated Tony Stark, as pretty much every villain in the MCU seems to hate. So, what I like about them is, I think Scarlet Witch versus Thanos in Avengers Endgame. Sorry for spoiler, but that was awesome. That was an awesome fight. I loved Scarlet Witch versus Thanos, where she was like, you took everything from me, and Thanos was like, oh, I don't even know who you are. Oh, I love that bit. And anyway, my favourite feat that she's done, apart from probably beating Thanos. She probably would have beaten him if the Thanos wasn't like, rain fire, and the Sanctuary 2 rain shot all the shells on the field. But I think my favourite feat that they have done is wiping out 90% of the world's mutants. Now, they do this in the comics. It's an amazing comic book series called, I think, M-Day, I think it is, when basically Scarlet Witch learns that she thinks that she had 2 sons, and then she changes reality so that she gets those 2 sons. I think Thomas and something with their names. But then by doing that, she just on a whim just like wipes out 90% of the world's mutants. Becomes like wildly powerful. She has got so much cool reality warping powers in the comics. Also, I think she's great because in Captain America Civil War, I loved how she could beat Vision, which is pretty interesting. Like how her powers could destroy an Infinity Stone is awesome. She basically she was carrying Captain America's team in the fights in Civil War, to be honest. So that comes to my number one, and I'm just going to do my two honourable mentions. Number one would be Iron Man. Everyone loves Iron Man. We all love him 3000. He's awesome. Brilliant storyline in the MCU. Awesome storyline in the comics. My second honourable mention would be Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange's story, especially in the MCU. But there is an awesome moment that I love with Doctor Strange in the comics, which is where it's in an amazing series, Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers. He's trying to prevent the collapse of the multiverse, and Doctor Strange is like, so that he goes to this place called the Sinner's Market where you sell like portions of your soul for power, and Doctor Strange just goes and he sells like 100% of his soul for absolute power, which is awesome. And I'm not going to go into the story. I'll make a video on it later. So anyway, my number one absolute favourite hero in Marvel is the Silver Surfer. I love the Silver Surfer. So most of you probably know of him, even if you didn't read the comics. He was in a bad Fantastic Four movie. But the Silver Surfer was a being called Norrin Radd, who lived on a planet called Zenlar, which is, imagine Earth, but like with wondrous technology. And Galactus came to devour his planet, and he sacrificed himself, Norrin Radd, to save his planet. He said, Galactus, I'll become your herald, and he would seek out worlds for Galactus to devour if he spared Zenlar, which is his planet. Now, the Silver Surfer I love in the comics. He's like a really, really righteous being, almost like Captain America a little bit. And what some awesome feats that I think he's done. I mean, when Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet in the comics, he immediately went for the Silver Surfer because the Silver Surfer was the only being that Thanos considered a threat, even with the Infinity Gauntlet. I think that's awesome. Silver Surfer can also travel so fast that he can travel through time, which is so cool. He has withstood power like blasts from all 6 Infinity Stones. Him and his surfboard looks awesome, I've got to say. Him and his surfboard, he has a mental link with his surfboard, so his surfboard can follow him wherever he goes. He can go through black holes unfazed. He can go through a star unfazed, which is, I think he's an awesome character. I love the Silver Surfer. So, that's my 3 favourite characters in Marvel. That's about it. Well, that's about it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. That's about it from me. Bye.
Thank you, Galactus the Hungry. Thank you. Well, I guess it's my turn. So, my top 3 favourite characters, they are very close to each other. Predominantly, my experience with Marvel has been through the TV shows and the films, but I also am a huge fan of the comics as well, and they are quite expensive, so I do have to pick and choose which ones I want, but I do have them, and particularly the Daredevil ones, I think they're fantastic. So, first of all, I'd say that my number 3 spot is Wolverine, aka Logan. So, this character really fascinates me. I love his abilities. I think that he's quite different to the other mutants, particularly in the X-Men movie franchise, as he's very much a lone wolf, and he's very much he operates on his own grounds. As much as he can be a great team player, he also, if he feels that something's not happening the way he wants, he will disobey Charles Xavier, and I really like that. I think Logan as well is one of my all-time favourite movies, and they did such an amazing job with the growth of that character. Hugh Jackman had been playing the character for 17 years, and to see that journey was truly incredible. I think that Hugh Jackman is definitely on the same level as Robert Downey Jr. for playing Iron Man and Chris Evans for playing Captain America. And that brings me on to number 2 for me. Number 2 is Captain America. And I am British, so that may be surprising, but I think that the whole idea of a man out of time is very interesting to me. How he was frozen in the ice when he'd been experiencing the events of World War II just a few minutes ago for him, and then he's suddenly in New York. That sort of stuff, the fish out of water element, and how he's trying to find his way back into society. I think Winter Soldier, again, one of my favourite films of all time. It does such a great job of exploring a good person with good morals, and when what they believe in, so for Captain America, the state, when the state proves to not align with what he believes it should, he's not afraid to have a differing opinion, and that's really it's a great moment for the character, because he then understands more that he needs to act on what he believes is right. And I love the line that Peggy says. I know Captain America, he says it to Spider-Man in the comics, but Peggy says it to Sharon Carter, and this is the quote. I'm going to read it right from the comics. It's really good. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move. And that's so important, and it shows the strength of a character to stand by their beliefs and to do what they believe and know is right. So that Captain America, good, strong morals, and also epic moments in the films. I personally believe that a team's only as good as its leader, and so I believe that Team Cap in Civil War were right, and they were the more effective team. They clearly, you can definitely tell at the start of the battle, they were clearly working much better, even if some of their some of the characters they didn't have as high a skill set or ability set. You know, they certainly had more skill set in my opinion. And also that fight at the end of Civil War, I mean, to me, Cap was clearly the more skilled fighter. So, no, I love Captain America, and he has amazing moments in the movies. And my next one, it will be no surprise because I've made a video on it. My favourite character is Daredevil. And what appeals to me with this character is the paradox element, being a lawyer by day, vigilante by night. I love the tone of the character and the stories that come along with it. I'm a person who has a strong sense of justice, and so from that perspective I can really relate to the character wanting to do the right thing and not leaving it to other people to do the right thing. I mean, sure, I know the balance. No, I don't go beating people up at night, but for Matt, I do understand why Matt does it. I think it's very interesting to have a blind character as well, given attention in media like this, and I think the Daredevil concept is fantastic. I love the religious links and how in the Daredevil show we're exploring the idea of the devil and how he may work for God in a way, as God is all-powerful, and all of this, and how he's embodying that purpose that he believes that the devil has. So that's very interesting. Daredevil's suit is fantastic, by the way. Can I just say that? Favorite comic book run, though, I think I have to mention this. It's either Born Again or it's the Bendis and Malieve run. Those are fantastic. I mentioned that before, but the imagery that's in the Born Again run is beautiful. The artwork by David Mazzucchelli is achingly human and really striking, and it truly reshaped the idea of what a comic book was actually, what it actually could be. And but favorite moment in a Daredevil comic is a scene where he teams up with Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Spider-Man. I have it as my phone wallpaper, and oh no, it's just, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's just I'll put a picture up now. But yeah. Alright, so also the suit. Daredevil's suit looks awesome. I mean, all of these characters, they look awesome as well. That's hugely important. I wanted to quickly mention, as Galactus the Hungry did, 2 characters that I would have liked to have on the list. One of them's Magneto. I find that character fascinating and morally complex. I feel that the X-Men movies, they did a really good job initially. It's just a shame that they didn't manage to consistently they didn't manage to move on from the trope of Charles and Eric constantly fighting and then being friends. So that's a shame, but I don't mind it too much. And then probably I'd have to say, well, I really like Mystique, actually, from a Power set. I think that she's really good, and in Days of Future Past and X-Men First Class, they do a really lovely job with that character. So I'll say those for now. Shapeshifting's an incredible ability, and I love how they delve into the mental aspect of that in First Class. So that does it for me. Thank you very much to Galactus the Hungry. I'm the Sith C, and I'll see you in the next one.